Hi everyone, Amitofo. Welcome back to our English Dharma sessions. In these sessions, I'm going to introduce to you in one of our important sutra. We call it the Heart Sutra. In Sanskrit, it's called the Prajna Paramita Hindaya Sutra. And it is a very popular sutra in both Mahayana and also the Theravada tradition. But of course, Mahayana traditions emphasize a lot about the Heart Sutra. It is the shortest sutras in Buddhism which summarize the heart of the teachings in the Prajna Paramita text. It is the teachings on the concept of emptiness, impermanent, non-self in this phenomenal world, including ourself, which is we call the I. In these sessions, I will go into a brief introductions on this short but important sutra, and let us enter into the world of emptiness. First of all, I would like to talk about what is called Prajna Paramita text. In Chinese, it's called the Da Bo Rui Jing. Prajna Paramita texts are very important texts in Mahayana. From the Prajna Paramita text, it's emphasized a lot about emptiness. It develops a lot of commentaries to create in the Mahayana teachings. It is broadly practiced by Mahayana practitioners and also by a lot of scholars that look into the teachings or the concept of what is the heart, the mind, and also emptiness. It develops a lot of different types of texts and commentaries, as I mentioned earlier, and through this development, it starts to transform into different kinds of explanation on what is called emptiness. So here we start with the phases of development of the text. Phase 1. The oldest text of this Prajna Paramita in English is called the Profession of Wisdom, in 8,000 lines, in 32 chapters. Sanskrit is called the Ashtasahasrika Prajna Paramita Sutra. In phase 2, it expanded into 3 different texts. True Repentations, Profession Wisdom in 10,000 lines, Profession Wisdom in 25,000 lines, and Profession Wisdom in 18,000 lines. We can see that the lines of the text has been increasing from 8,000 to greater numbers of lines. The texts were getting greater and greater. One of the reasons is because people try to elaborate the teachings in the text. However, this elaboration did not make the teaching easier. In another hand, it makes the teachings more profound, complicated, and not easy to understand. So in the later part of the development, the sutra start to have a shift of the translation or interpretation. It starts to shift to a shorter wordings or try to capture the core or the heart teachings of the Prajna Paramita text. And that's why the text starts to develop into 2 shorter versions. And these 2 shorter versions are the Heart Sutra and the Diamond Sutra. So in phase 3, huge and widely text that is prestigious but with profound thoughts that is hard to grasp. Developed shorter sutra, 2 of which the most famous before the 400 CE is called the Heart Sutra and Diamond Sutra. So the Prajna Paramita text, through the transformation of Buddhism in these centuries and many centuries, this transformation, a lot of people try to understand the teachings in the Prajna Paramita text, try to make it more understandable, but in a way, the version get greater and greater, wordings get more and more, it becomes more complicated, and not many people like to read huge versions of things or volumes of things, and that's why in around the 400 CE, people start to shift the way of capturing the teachings in the Prajna Paramita text and develop the 2 important texts, the Heart Sutra and also the Diamond Sutra. And in phase 4, phase development of the text, With the widespread of the tantric ideas after 600 CE, the texts were adapted to the new trend, added short but effective mantras, composed tantric abbreviations of prajna paramita for those less endowed, personified prajna paramita into deities. When Buddhism spreads to Tibet, it started to emerge to the teachings with the Tibetan traditions or their own belief. And a lot of mantras were used in Buddhism. And so too, the development of the prajna paramita text. It started to transform in a way whereby it add in the mantra into the text. It also tried to compose it in a way whereby it shifts to the belief from emptiness to deities. So this is one of the development of the prajna paramita from the ideas of emptiness and shift to the ideas of emptiness in deities or the ideas of deities. And in Chinese Buddhism, when Buddhism transmitted to the land of China, Buddhism started to develop and change, transform in many ways. So do the transmissions of the prajna paramita ideas. A lot of text has been translated from the prajna paramita and also the text for the Heart Sutra. So in the Chinese translation, there are more than 7 versions of translation for different period of time for the Heart Sutra. And the famous and popular used text was from Master Xuan Zhang, a well-known Buddhist practitioner, clergy, master, and also very important translator. These 260 characters of Heart Sutra is widely recited in many Dharma services and used by many practitioners to practice when they visualize on the idea of emptiness and impermanence. So Heart Sutra, in a way, in Chinese Buddhism is a very important sutra. The title of the text, Prajna. What is the meaning of prajna? Prajna is the type of knowledge that penetrates the truth, progressive purifications of the mind, to see things as they really are. So prajna, in a way, is the transcend mind. There's no concept of duality in this world. The mind is pure and in peace. When this person reaches to the state of prajna, in a way is that he sees through the nature of this universe, the nature of oneself, and he's able to transcend out himself in a state of mind whereby even if he's still staying in this world, he's no more attached to a duality. He's no more attached to this phenomenal world, and that's prajna. So the mind is purified. And prajna is different from wisdom. Wisdom is conventional. Wisdom has right or wrong. So in a way, prajna, when it translates into English as wisdom, wisdom is unable to cover the entire essence of prajna. However, the closest words to use to translate prajna is still wisdom. But prajna is a transcend state of mind. It's not even attached to the knowledge, not even attached to duality, not even attached to any of the concept. But in a way, a person still lives in this world, a world of duality, a world of phenomenal, and a world of things around us. Type of prajna. Prajna of the letters, Chinese called 文字般若, understanding from words, symbol, and sights. Wisdom from this word, from the words that we are using. Prajna is from the words that we are using, but not attached to the words that we are using. So now I'm using wording to explain prajna to all of you. You understand about the meaning of prajna, but prajna wordings or wording prajna is not something for us to attach to. So if something that we attach to in wordings, in a way is that this is not called prajna. The second type of prajna from contemplation, Chinese called 观照般若. Example, rope viewed as snake, bow seen as snakes. A wisdom or prajna from observing the true nature, but not attached to this true nature. So we look at this book. It's a book. We thought that it's a book, but it's not just a book. It's a combination of a lot of things. But we thought that it's a book. So it's just like we see a rope, but view it like a snake. We took it too seriously. The fear arises. Uncomfortable feeling arises. But when we contemplate on it, when we contemplate on the true nature of this book, the prajna arises. Because we know that these books, the creation of these so-called books, is a combination of a lot of conditions. It's not just created all by itself or by the book itself. So this is called the prajna of contemplation. We see through it, we look into it, the true nature of all things around us. The next prajna, prajna from reality. Chinese called 实相般若. Example, there's from wood, from the tree, from the seed, plus soil, plus sunlight, plus air, plus etc. And from these multiple conditions, we arise out this death. So in here, prajna from cause and condition, but not attached to cause and condition. We know these real things, these true things in front of us. We know about it. We know that this is the combination of many, many things, multiple conditions to create these things. We know about it. And because we know about it, the prajna arises, and we know that we should not attach to these things because it's a combination of many conditions. And these are the types of prajna. And the meaning of paramita, parama, means the noblest, highest, or most excellent. Paramitas means the most excellent virtues or the noblest qualities of the Bodhisattvas. Paramitas can be translated as perfect or perfect realization. The Chinese character used for paramita, called du, means crossing over to the other shore, which is the shore of peace, no fear, freedom, harmony, good relationship, and liberation. So in here, paramita in the Heart Sutra is crossing through from one shore to another shore, to the shore of no fear, peaceful, harmony. It's perfect. It's the noblest. It's the excellent virtues. So this is called the paramita. So when we combine the prajna, which we so-call the wisdom of non-attachment, to paramita, the other shore, which means that we cross from this shore to the other shore of wisdom with no attachment. When somebody achieves the stage of wisdom with no attachment, that is the stage of mind of peacefulness, happiness, and harmony. And heart. What is heart? The core or essence of the Dharma. The path to the other shore, the shore of enlightenment. Heart, we use another word called mind. Mind is the core or the essence of all dharmas. Everything around us created from our mind, from our heart. And this heart, whether we want to stay in this shore or we want to go to another shore, it depends on whether do we want to transcend it. It all depends from the mind. And that's why in this sutra, mind plays a very important role in our practice and also in our enlightenment. Sutra. Sutra in Chinese called Jing, stringing together the teachings, principles to provide guidance or a path. Tripitaka, Sutra, Vinaya, and Sastra, all by wordings, contains explicitly or implicitly the entire meanings of the longer perfection of wisdom sutras. So sutra in a way is to record down the teachings from the Buddha or from the senior practitioner. It teaches us the meaning of life. It teaches us the truth of this nature. It gives us the guidance. It is a path for us to learn. In a way, in Diamond Sutra, it mentions is that when we use all these teachings, to us is a tools of learning. But when one day, when we are able to enlighten and understand the truth, we need to throw this sutra away. If not, this will become one of our attachment as well. So at this point of time, we have not reached to the state of enlightenment. So please do not throw the sutra away. We still need the sutra as our guideline, as our principle to practice and learn about what is life. And in this sutra, the Heart Sutra, there's a very important person. He or she is called the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Chinese called the Guan Yin Pusa, one of the 4 great Bodhisattva in Chinese Buddhism. Bodhisattva of great compassion, 慈悲, 大慈大悲, great compassion, great merciful. And Avalokitesvara has another name called 观自在. 观自在 means contemplations on self, ease harmony, able to ease all suffering, liberation, able to contemplate on all phenomenal worlds, see through the true nature on everything, and has the mind of harmony, peace, and cease all suffering. And that's why she's called the contemplations of freeness or carefree. So in the beginning of the Heart Sutra, the Heart Sutra mentioned about the 5 skandhas are empty. What are the 5 skandhas? When skandhas translate into English, it's called the aggregation. So it's called the 5 aggregates. It's the components of the existent, the form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. This is the 5 aggregates that the Bodhisattva, when they start to practice, they have to contemplate on it. Contemplate on the true nature of these 5 aggregates are empty. They are impermanent. They change all the time. The form change all the time. Our feeling change all the time. Our perception change all the time. Our mental formation change all the time. And our consciousness change all the time too. So what are permanent? Nothing are permanent. And since it's not permanent, they are empty. So 5 aggregates are empty. But we human beings, we thought that these 5 aggregates are forever there. So when we feel sad, the sadness will be always with us because we thought that they are real. But actually they are not real. They are impermanent. They change all the time. So this is what the Bodhisattva needs to contemplate on when they start to practice in their Bodhisattva path, and also when they serve other people. Emptiness. In Buddhism, emptiness is very important. In Sanskrit, it's called as sunyata. When sunyata translates into emptiness, we know that emptiness is unable to cover the entire meaning of sunyata. Sunyata is a core concept of Buddhism, the truth of all phenomena. It's not nihilism. A lot of people misunderstood that emptiness is nihilism, which is not true. It's the 2 truths, conventional, relative truth, absolute, ultimate truth. Emptiness is impermanence. Sunyata is impermanence. Sunyata tells us about the truth of this world. Because sunyata let us see the combination of a lot of conditions create this world. And this world will also destroy by the conditions. So when a Bodhisattva sees through all this, the Bodhisattva understands what is sunyata. And the Bodhisattva are able to transcend out from duality. And that is why in the practice of Bodhisattva, sunyata is very important. The 6 sensory organs. In the sutra, it mentioned a lot about no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. This eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind are called the 6 roots or the 6 sensational organs. The first 5 are the doors, the data collections. The mind is the king or master of the 5. When the 5 organs, the first 5 organs collect all the data, the mind, the king, will take in all this data and do the differentiation and judgment. So all our thoughts arises because of the first 5 organs entering into the 6 organs, the mind's organs, and the mind's organs do the function. However, when the Bodhisattvas start to contemplate in their practice, they have to contemplate on the nature of these 6 organs. These 6 organs are impermanent as well. It changes all the time. The eyes change. Our eyesight will get weaker and weaker when we get older. The ear change too. We smell different types of things when we grow older too. Our ears, when we grow older, we can't hear clearly. So they are not permanent. If they are not permanent, which means that they are impermanent, so are they real? The things that we hear, are they true? The things that we see, are they really true? This is something that we have to think about it. So in the Heart Sutra, it says that the Bodhisattva has to contemplate that these 6 roots or organs are not permanent. And that's why there's no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, and even no mind. Because the mind changes even faster than anything. So what are real? 6 consciousness. The 6 functions of the 6 roots. The eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness. The 6 consciousness contain the memories in us, deeply hide in us. These memories are from the 6 organs. As I mentioned earlier, is that the 5 organs collect the data, entering into the mind. The mind do the judgment. But who record it? The consciousness. The consciousness record this data that enter into the mind and then enter into the consciousness. Subsequently, it's become the memories from the 6 organs. So if I see this book is burgundy, the burgundy color enter into my eyes, enter into my mind. I do a judgment, it's burgundy. Record into my consciousness, it's burgundy. Okay? So when we see into our eyes organs, the image record into our consciousness due to the eye, the physical eye organs, and that's why we have this eye consciousness. So this consciousness, in a way, is a recording purpose. The 5 organs, the first 5 organs is the data collections. The mind organs is the judgment. The consciousness is the recording machine. And that's how they form together to become our memory in us. And it passed from life after life. 6 does. The 6 external factors or matters. The 6 sensational organs and the 6 consciousness come into context or response to eye, response to form, ear to sound, nose to smell, tongue to taste, body to touch, and mind, mental objects. Totally known as the 18 realms, which means that the 6 organs, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, these 6 organs contact with the 6 external matters called the form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mental objects. And these 6 become 12, and they contact together, record into the 6 consciousness, the eye consciousness, the ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. 6 plus 6 plus 6 become 18, and this 18 becomes the realm. Realm means world. The world created from the combination of these 18 things has to combine together, become the world around us. So this book is a world to me. This Buddha is a world to me. How come it becomes a world to me? Because the Buddha, this is the object. The object, my eyes organs contact with this object. Immediately it records into the consciousness. When it records into consciousness, it becomes our memory and create out to be these things exist here. If there's no such these things, my eye, will not see these things, and these things will not be exist here. So that's why in Buddhism, we say that all things create from our heart. 一切为心造. Our heart create all kinds of things. And how do we create all kinds of things? It has to have the 18 realms. And what are the 18 realms? The 6 organs plus the 6 external matters or factors plus the 6 consciousness, and create all these things. However, all these things are empty. Why they are empty? Emptiness is form. Form is emptiness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. No, no, no. Because they are the mental cognitions. It's created from the mind. It based on the condition arise in order to form these reactions. Hence, it is just a cognition reflections, but not permanent things that never change. So in this thing in front of me is a cognition idea. These things get into my consciousness, into my organs, into my consciousness. This image arises. I see the back of this image. You see the front of this image. I don't see the front of this image. So my cognition's reflection only reflect the back of this image. When this image removed, this cognition reflection will gone, but the memory will still be in the mind. And this memory change all the time. It's still there, but it change all the time. That's why if we attach to this thing, I will always say that this image has to have this image comes out. And you will say that it has to be this image comes out. But there's no definite, because the condition at this time is that I only see the back of this Buddha. You only see the front of this Buddha. It's the condition that create the image. It's not we create image. And our heart reflect on this condition and thought that this is real. But actually this is not real. It's created by conditions. So the Bodhisattva has to refute the attachments to the cognitive idea. And so Heart Sutra refute the existence of the 6 organs, 6 external factors or matters, and 6 consciousness as real thing. It's just a combination of a lot of conditions to have these things happen at this time. So wisdom and attainment. Wisdom, prajna. This prajna arises. Attainment of enlightenment or Buddhahood. However, there's nothing to be attained. In Heart Sutra, it even refutes the idea of enlightenment. It refutes the idea of Buddhahood. Because when we attach to the idea of enlightenment, when we attach to the idea of Buddhahood, we are not able to see the true nature of all these phenomenal worlds. And so there's nothing for us to attach to, as according to the Heart Sutra. So all are illusory. Because all the above are illusory, there's nothing to be attained. Bodhisattva rely on prajna paramita, have no worry, obstructions or fear, away from delusion and confusions, dreams, and thus can reach nirvana. When a person are not attached even to Buddhahood and enlightenment, that person is completely free. That person is no more attached to anything. And in that mind, no fear will enter in, no worries will enter in, no delusion enter in, no suffering enter in. And this stage of mind is called nirvana. Supreme enlightenment. Buddhas of the past, present, and future, 3 lifetimes, all rely on the prajna paramita to attain Anyattara Samyak Sambuddhi, supreme enlightenment. So enlightenment, there are different types of stage as well. The supreme enlightenment is when a person no attached to anything, understand the nature of everything, the reason of existing of everything, the reason of cessation of everything. Then that person is able to reach to the mind of complete or supreme peacefulness, and in that stage, nothing is more important to him or more superior to him, but everything is important and superior to him. So in the last part of the Heart Sutra, there's a mantra, prajna paramita mantra. Gate Gate Baragate Barasamgate Buddhi Swaha. Gone, gone, gone beyond. Gone altogether beyond to the other shore of awakening. The Bodhisattva wants us to understand the true nature of our heart, of all phenomenal worlds. What is the objective of understanding this? Go, go. Go from this shore of suffering to the other shore of peacefulness. Do not turn back. Just go. So do not return back when a person already reached to the other shore. There's nothing for us to return back. If we want to return back, we return to serve other people, but in the mind of Prajna Paramita. So the value of Heart Sutra. The very short sutra contains essence of the Dharma, all the core teachings of Buddhism, profound meanings of emptiness. Within each concept provides a straight directions for the practitioner for nirvana. It is a way of life that can reach to peace and happiness, which we call nirvana. When we understand the nature of all things, we know that there's actually nothing for us to attach to. We know that we are living in this phenomenal world, but we know that the illusory of this phenomenal world. We still live in this phenomenal world, but our mind is different from other people. Since there's nothing for us to attach to, then why do we still live in the life of worry and fear? We are free. So let go. Let go, then we are able to have peace and happiness. A key to our human life, which allows us to see reality, that there is no self. To understand emptiness means fullness, existence, allowed wide circulation and practice recitation. So if there's no emptiness, then there's no limitation. If there's emptiness, there's limitation. So if we have the concept of emptiness, there's a limitation. But if we do not have the concept of emptiness, then there's no limitation. The same thing, if we do not have the concept of sunyata, there's no attachment. So when we do not attach to any of the concept, we are completely free. There's no limitation. If we are free, where there's a limitation? So in the Bodhisattva practice, when a Bodhisattva practices the 6 paramita, or the 6 profession, which are the giving, precepts, tolerance, diligence, meditative concentrations, and prajna. When the Bodhisattva practices these 6 paramita, all these 6 paramita are not assist. There's no giving, there's no precepts, there's no tolerance, no diligence, no meditative concentration, and no prajna. So when the Bodhisattva practices, there's no such 6 paramita. The Bodhisattva, when they serve other people, they will not be served with the mind of returning. They just serve without asking for other things, because the 5 skandhas are empty. Since the 5 skandhas are empty, these 6 paramita are supposed to be empty too. And that's how the Bodhisattva should contemplate in. In summary of the Prajna Paramita Hindara Sutra, one should become a Bodhisattva. One is content with nothing less than all knowledge attained through the perfection of wisdom for all the sakes of all beings. There's no such things as Bodhisattva. All knowledge, beings, perfections of wisdom, or attainment. So in the Heart Sutra, it refutes all things that exist in our mind. There's no such thing as attainment. There's no such thing as of Bodhisattvahood, Buddhahood, Arahatshiphood. There's no such things. When we have such things in our mind, then we are no more a Bodhisattva practitioner. We are no more an Arahat practitioner. It helps us to release out from the concept of existence. And that's why we reach to the stage of freedom when we are helping other people. We reach to the stage of peacefulness when we are working with other people, when we are living in this phenomenal world. The mind is clear, is pure, is in peace. And this is called the Heart Sutra. So today in these sessions, I provide a brief introductions about the Heart Sutra, on how the Prajnaparamita text developed and subsequently developed the Heart Sutra, and the core teachings in the Heart Sutra and the core ideas on emptiness. I hope that in this sutra it will provide all of you with some the prajna for us to practice in our path of Bodhisattvahood. Thank you very much. Om Mani Padme.